I'm Holly Constant.
And I'm Maddie Hockaday. We really love Parks and Rec, and we really love behind-the-scenes details.
So we're researching everything from DVD extras like deleted scenes and commentaries,
plus interviewing cast and crew who actually worked on the show.
We also bring on guests and friends to geek out about everything parks.
So join us, you tropical fish.
This is literally the best Parks and Rec rewatch podcast.
We're your park pals.
There's a park and some pals, and there's also therapy too.
Awesome. Well, we are at season 5, episode 22. It's the finale. Oh my God.
I can't believe we've rounded it out. This season feels like it's been so long, not in a bad way, but just there's so much that's happened.
Yeah, so much that's happened. And also, like, there's tiny things that, in previous seasons would have taken, like, a million years to, happen. Like, the putt-putt thing, I feel, would have been, like, a full-on 2 or 3 episodes or something. You know what I mean? And it just, like, happened really fast. So, it's crazy. But, yeah, crazy. It's the end of season 5. Okay. Well, this was written by Mike Schur, directed by Dean Holland, which is a dream team. Creator of the show, Mike Schur, and our hero of editing, Dean Holland, which is incredible. So I love that they came back, and I also love that they bring back so many guest stars for this episode to just like round out everyone that we've met and seen throughout the show. It's really incredible.
Yeah, they do such a great job, and it ties into the storyline so well why they're there, right? Sometimes,
yeah.
Shows don't necessarily do the best job of like, wait, why are we bringing all these people back?
Yeah, totally. Well, I'm ready for a summary whenever you are.
All right, let's do it. Okay. We're going out with a bang. A group of upset Pawnee citizens work together to recall Leslie from office. Tom considers an offer to sell Rent-A-Swag. And Anne and Andy work together to discover who in the group is pregnant.
Oh my gosh. Crazy plot twist moment. This pregnancy I can get on board with.
Yeah, absolutely. Samesies. It makes sense.
Oh my God. Oh, and the recall, it makes me so angry. I hate it.
I agree because not to get too political, but it's like we're kind of living in a similar like, okay, you guys aren't voting for the right things. I don't think you have the right insight into why you need to vote for people, because she has made it better. She has made Pawnee a better place. You look at the statistics, the numbers, she has made Pawnee a better place, but it's not what they want, and it's it's frustrating for me, and I'm sure
they want
for
their
her
lives to be terrible, because in their head it's like, well, I got to make my own decision. Shut up. I hate you.
Yeah.
But I love Ben's line of the more things you succeed in, the more heat you're going to get, especially in politics. So true. Which is so true.
Yeah, because you're going to make enemies. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it. We start this episode having a meeting about Founders Week, and Ron is lending his cabin, which is a true testament to me to how far they've come and how close they've become as work proximity associates. Like, I know Ron is grumpy and mad about sharing this cabin and everything, but he still did it. Like, what a long way that they've come. Like, this would not have happened even a year ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So crazy. And Leslie is explaining that Founders Week is a yearly celebration of all things Pawnee, and it's basically this huge festival that ends in a parade, which looks awesome. That parade looks so cool. I can't imagine all the props and like people and extras that had to go into that. It looks so cool.
I love that they had like footage from a couple of years back too. Like, it's really cool. And this is such a small town thing. This is something that Prescott does in Arizona. They have like I don't think it's called Founders Day, but it's, I don't know, it's like Pioneer Days or something like that. But they're, they have a big parade, and it's about when Pawnee, oh my gosh, Prescott was founded.
Both P names.
Yes, both P names. So it's, this feels very like proud small town vibe to me.
Yeah, totally. I love it so much. I think it's super cute. And I watched the gag reel again because, this was the last episode on the DVD or whatever. And there were some of the crew members had like face paint on them. So I feel like they might have hired like real vendors, like real people to come out and had this like huge party end of the season shoot thing. So that's cool.
That is really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, I feel like I want there to be like a whole mini series of Founders Week and everything that goes into it and what exact vendors and food trucks and all that kind of stuff is in there. I feel like that would have been so cool to see.
Yeah.
But obviously we don't have time.
No, we barely have time to fit what they wanted to fit in.
Yeah. Well, Leslie is asking April and everybody else what the best part of living in Pawnee is. And April obviously spouts off random things and weird things. But then we learned that Donna has a condo in Seattle that she will have paid off in about 3 years because the cost of living in Pawnee is cheap, which is a great detail for Donna. I love that we're building on her character. That's so cool. And then it comes back later.
It does. Yeah, it's like they're building. I think they're starting to see the end of the show.
Maybe.
And like, where are these people gonna go? And like, this is a nice little way ahead of time, get our minds wrapped around the fact that Donna, you know, goes other places and has other homes, and it is really cool.
Well, it's also interesting to me because so many times, I mean, I don't know if this was true for this particular episode, but so many times when I've heard writers talk, they'll write something not thinking that they're going to use it later. And then they go back when they don't have something or when they're trying to break a story. They go back on their corkboard, clipboards and like look at their notes from previous times. And they're like, oh, we mentioned that she had a condo in Seattle. What if we build on that?
Yeah.
Or like
it could be that too.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's I really like how a lot of writers will do that in shows. It's, to build on the whole community and the whole story and the whole character.
Yeah. Me too.
Also, I love her like acting on like the rain and the fish markets.
Yes. Yeah. It's
and Donna
very
said that she
matter of fact.
doesn't like fish markets. Oh yeah, very matter of fact. Donna, aka Retta, said she doesn't like fish markets. Actually,
really. Me either, Retta. Me either. The smell.
Yeah. I was curious after April said her things, and I had to look up where the guillotine was actually invented.
I was pretty sure I knew, and I was correct because school.
That's fair. I mean, what was interesting, so it was made famous in the French Revolution, like in France, but they said that there was a ton of other objects and instruments like that in England already before France. So the invention, I guess the name guillotine is French, or like the popularity of it was happening in France. But there's something called the Halifax gibbet is what they call it in England that was used before the guillotine. So I don't know if it was actually invented there. I think they just made it famous.
And I hadn't heard of that, so that's a deeper fact. Love it.
My Google told me.
Yeah. Gotta love Google.
Okay, and I didn't want to look this up, but I did about the cities that have the top most murders and homicides.
I think I can tell you who is number one right now. I don't know if per capita.
Go ahead.
But Chicago's pretty high up there, if not number one.
Well, so it does depend on the amount of people that you're thinking or that like what statistic you want to read, but it says most murders, homicides per 100,000 people. The top is St. Louis.
Ooh.
So we've got St. Louis, and then second is New Orleans, third is Baltimore, Maryland, fourth is Philly, and fifth is Memphis.
Wow, Chicago didn't even make it.
Per 100,000 people.
This, yeah.
So I don't know who. Chicago and LA did make it for urban cities. Like, I don't know how many people are in Chicago. So it's probably more than 100,000, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah.
I would think.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've got 100,000, yeah, it was those five. But if you have more than that, the top urban cities, like cities, it was Chicago and LA. I was kind of surprised about New York not being on there, but LA is also so massive. And so is Chicago, to be honest. Like, it spans a very long way, whereas New York City, I feel, is big, but I don't know if it's as big as LA.
Yeah, and it depends on if you count the boroughs too. Like all
right.
of them, or are you just looking at Manhattan, or are they looking at all the boroughs? Yeah.
Right.
But I remember that being like huge. Maybe it was about 5 years ago. Like, the murder rate in Chicago jumped so high that it was like you shouldn't even be walking in these parts of town because there's 3 calls a day due to a shooting.
Yeah.
It got bad.
Yeah. So those are the top urban cities, and then the 100,000 per capita were the other 5. So yeah, I had to look it up. Crazy. I mean, nowhere is safe anymore, but you know what I mean.
But we don't live in those cities, so we're gonna call that a win right now.
Yeah, I don't think it's a win, but
Yeah. It's a personal win.
I know. I'm just sad.
I know.
Anyway, okay. Yeah, why? Oh, okay. My next note is, why is Mona Lisa here? Like 8 minutes exactly is the time to make out. He'll be back in 8 minutes. He doesn't have any control in this relationship, so I guess he just told Mona Lisa that, he was going, and she was like, okay, I'm going too.
Yeah, this also just doesn't seem like her jam. Like, I'm going to go hang out in the woods with my coworkers and we're going to work. And she's like, yeah, I'll come. Right. Seems super weird. It reminds me of that John Mulaney bit where he goes, can my girlfriend come?
Oh.
Like, it is super weird that she's there. And that she just gets to drag him away.
Right. Anyone is welcome to join us in the tree.
Oh, gosh. Oh.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Well, do you have anything before we move on to City Hall?
No.
So there's a strange moment when April is taking a call and says, really? Okay, thank you. And it's kind of weird and confusing. And so Donna tries to ask about it, but she says she's fine, but something's definitely up.
Yeah, and it does set some things up for the potential.
Yeah, totally.
Of things later. I don't know how to say that without giving spoilers.
Yeah. Well, Andy comes in and gets it in everyone's faces because he says that he was looking for a sweater that he accidentally threw in the trash, by the way, at Ron's house. Oh, God, Andy.
Poor Andy.
Yes. And he found a positive pregnancy test at Ron's cabin. And honestly, I loved this. When I was watching it, I guess because we've been analyzing it and watching episode back to back, but every episode back to back. But this is such a cool, like, story mystery moment. We don't get this drama often with Parks. We don't get this, like, whodunit, like, what's happening kind of dramatic moment. And so I thought it was such a cool introduction or, different type of story to introduce to the audience of Parks. It was really cool.
I agree. And I love that, like, even though he crosses April out immediately, all 5-6 women, like, are, like, it's a possibility that any of them could be pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they definitely wouldn't be, so let's cross off these 2 other people. Like, all of them are very, like, in places of their life or live their life in a way where they could be pregnant.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, 100%. And I mean, on that note, the montages of things that could be signs of them all being pregnant was so good and so subtle, I feel. Like Leslie not taking the beer that she was offered, Mona Lisa throwing up, April looking really shy, like she's coming out of the cabin, like with her sweater all tight, like I don't want to talk to anybody. And then Ann and Chris obviously talking about the baby thing. And then Donna on the phone, like potentially talking to someone on the phone, like looking like she's maybe yelling or having like an intense conversation. Like I thought that was so cool of them to show that.
And they chose things that very easily could be explained by other things. So you really are sitting there like, huh.
Like, who is it? Yeah, totally. And yeah, I think even though Andy thinks that April would have told him, like, I think me as the audience member was like, would she though? Like, maybe she's freaked out. Maybe she wouldn't tell you.
Yeah, I agree. I think we all
especially with that earlier call that you said was kind of set up,
Yeah, I think I don't think anybody knows how they're going to respond until they're in the moment living it. Like, you could say, I 100% would do it this way. Your partner could 100% believe that you're going to do it this way, but you don't know the emotions you're going to feel until you're in it and how you're going to handle it. So she could have kept it from him. Who knows?
100%. I agree. And then we have Burt Macklin coming back. Yay!
Yes, I know.
Macklin, you son of a bitch.
I love it so much because it's Burt Macklin and because he's so good at playing this character. But part of me is like, Andy, trust in yourself that you can figure this out without playing a character at the same time.
Aww.
You know?
Yeah. I
like,
didn't even
you
think
got
of that.
this.
Yeah, he like needs it. It's so fun
Yeah.
for him.
It is, yeah.
But it is cute because we thought we might not see him again because he retired, quote unquote, a while ago.
Yeah. Might have
couple
even been
episodes ago.
last season. Or was it the beginning
I
of this
know.
season?
I think it was in this season because it was after Leslie and him got married, and which was in like the middle of the season. You know what I mean? Because he took his police academy exam. Wasn't it? During that?
I think it was after. It was when he scared that kid is when he retired. But that was before they got married.
Let's see. When did Burt Macklin retire? Parks and Rec. What episode was that? Burt Macklin, season 5, episode 8. So it was this season.
Yeah. Okay.
Just a little earlier. So,
cool.
Yeah.
All right. So he didn't even die for a season.
Yeah.
Burt Macklin lives strong.
Right.
Love it.
Okay, so now we're at the town hall. Oh my gosh, asking if people are better off than they were a year ago. And this was a really funny moment. The Prettiest Pig beauty pageant is now pork rib barbecue competition by accident.
Which, if you watch Adam's face, he has no reaction. Like, he either knew it already or he's just like, yeah, whatever. Like, that
Pawnee
makes logical
classic.
sense. Yeah. And Chris is so sad.
Yeah, totally. I love that Leslie Knope runs down the aisles trying to high five everyone because like acting like she's famous / like a rock star, which is so funny to me. I love it so much.
Yeah. Very, very victory lappy is the way she puts it, right? So that's kind of the vibe.
Yeah, totally. And she says it really has been a great year. Obesity and diabetes have gone down. Raccoon attacks have gone down. Test scores are up. She's wearing her power red suit. She's feeling confident. And it's true. I mean, that the city itself is thriving, I think, or at least is doing better, I feel. So that's really amazing. And it makes me so sad because like, because we know what's coming, obviously, and people being upset, but it just really has been such a productive and healthy year for Pawnee. So crazy.
And people are safe in parks, grocery stores, and hospitals.
Yes.
Which
suddenly.
parks I can understand. Like, that's like a more open and, sometimes those aren't safe, but like grocery stores and hospitals.
Those raccoons, man.
Those
they
threw
get
me
everywhere.
off, man. Oh man,
I can imagine raccoons being in the hospital for sure.
Oh yeah,
because that's what
we've heard of that.
That's what his mom or her mom said. She had to go to Eagleton Hospital because the Pawnee Hospital was overrun with raccoons.
Oh gosh,
awful. Well, immediately the floor opens because she's asking people if they feel better off, and I mean, a part of this, I do feel like Leslie is like opening the floor for negativity. She didn't have to do this. Obviously, this is very Leslie, but I'm like, you could have just accepted that this was a wonderful year and not had to talk to anybody. Because I feel like she wanted to hear from other people that they agreed with her, but I'm like, Leslie, you know that they're not going to agree with you, baby.
When has a forum ever gone in her way?
Oh, God.
Poor Leslie. I know. How many other council people do this? Like, I doubt any of them throw together forums to see how the city's feeling about things.
Which is a whole other like parallel to our current state of politics. So many representatives are not doing town halls because they don't want to fucking hear that they're doing a bad job.
Yeah.
It's so annoying.
Yeah, they don't care.
Or not that they're doing a bad job. They just don't want to be questioned. They don't care about their constituents. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I'm seeing there's so much that we're seeing that people are trying to just stay in their position and stay high up, and they don't care how it's impacting the people.
Yeah, correct. Ugh.
This is why we need more Leslie Nopes.
I know. Well, AOC is there. We've got her, so that's good. Okay, so immediately the floor opens and Catherine Pinewood, our old Pawnee Restaurant Association gal, comes in and says they're stripping them of their most basic human rights, which, oh my God, talk about exaggeration. Are you fucking kidding me?
It's so, and the thing is all we need, and again, parallel, all you need is one person to get up there and say ridiculous shit. And other people are going to be like, oh, hell yeah, I felt the same way forever. And now I can say it because she said it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And of course, Catherine Pinewood is referring to the Sweet'em soda thing, which is why the obesity is down. And we do our little flashback to their meeting taking away the child size soda.
Yeah. Which honestly, if you really wanted 500 ounces of soda, you could buy several of the larger drinks they have and put them all in one
That's
large
fair.
cup when you get home. Like she's not stripping you of your freedoms. Like,
Right.
my word.
Well, and side note, this gal is played by Mary Faber, the actress, and we interviewed her recently. Recently, I don't even know how long ago that was, but it was a wonderful interview, and also I'll post that in the show notes. She's an amazing Broadway actress / singer, all the things. I don't know. I feel like she was doing something recently, but she originated the American Idiot tour. So amazing. And she was doing Next to Normal in Texas, maybe? I can't remember. But either way, she's a wonderful singer and great actress. So, and yeah, she had a lot of insight on Catherine Pinewood. So I'll definitely post that in the show notes if you're interested in listening to that.
Yay.
And yeah, I just kind of wrote like, oh no, there are so many citizens who want to complain / come to the mic. Like, no, I hate this. Because then because Leslie says like, I don't see any of those people complaining, and then they all come up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see them now.
Yes, I do see them.
Okay, so now we're at Rent-A-Swag, and Tom is saying that business is so good he might be able to quit the parks department and do Rent-A-Swag full time, which we discussed last time. I feel like, how is he working at parks and Rent-A-Swag? So I guess that kind of answers it. Like, sounds like he's only working at Rent-A-Swag part time, which we talked about. Maybe, I think you said that maybe he's going like after work and on weekends and stuff. But I mean, that's still a lot to juggle. That doesn't answer everything. But I could see that him doing that. I mean, I do that, with my side things.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and there's just some things probably that he has to do, like, like some of the business things that he can do while he's at City Hall, but like doesn't have to physically be at the store, like the accounting and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I love that we see the rapport he's building with his customers. Like, he knows some of them by name, and he's like telling them they look good. He's got the swagger and the personality to really run this store, and it's cool to see him utilizing it in a positive way.
Yeah, totally. And also, I don't think maybe we talked about when Rent-A-Swag first opened, but this is like a big thing now, renting clothes. Like, for especially if you're doing it it used to be for like famous like gala type of clothing, or like dresses, balls, that kind of stuff. Like, if you don't want to spend, or like weddings, prom. Like if you don't want to spend money on like a huge purchase, you can rent it and send it back. But now they have like all kinds of clothes, and then if you like it, you can buy it after, or you can just return it and rent it again, like at a later time or whatever. But I remember people in college doing this, like, for birthdays, or like even bachelorettes, you know what I mean? Like, if you don't want to spend so much money on a dress for one event, you can return it. I wonder, because it's called Rent the Runway, the one that I'm thinking of. When did that start? Because I wonder if like, whatchamacallit, Rent-A-Swag was before or after. Rent the Runway launched in November 2009. Okay, so that was before Rent-A-Swag.
Yep.
But
by just a year or 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
I mean, well,
no, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, 3 or 4 years, because 2009 was like when it started, when Parks and Rec started.
Yeah.
Like 2008, something like that. But still, and I don't think it was as popular until a couple years, like maybe after they launched anyway. So like they were probably around the same time they were like gaining popularity, I feel. But Rent the Runway was not the same as like teenagers. So
yeah,
expanding on that. Which, speaking of, it's so funny. He says like little swaggers for babies and Rent-A-Sag for old people. I thought that was so funny.
I know, really good writing there.
Oh my god,
I would totally do little swaggers. That's cute.
Yeah,
and that's like the best age too, because they wear something for sometimes only 2 weeks, and then they're too big for it. So
totally,
yeah.
Oh my god. Why is Mona Lisa still working there? Why does Tom even have this as a possibility? What is going on?
This is like he needs to go. He needs to be Katumst because
Yes.
he has no like management over her. It's also a little iffy that you're dating one of your employees. That feels a little weird. And the fact that she just gets to leave, like, because her tum-tum hurts, which, like, I'm all for, like, you not having to be at work if you're not feeling well. But this just seems like she doesn't want to be here. Yeah,
well.
she just
What a
doesn't
lie.
want to be here. So I just, I can't. I don't know how. I mean, I understand that she's John Ralphio's sister, but, like, get her out, man. Like,
I know.
I want you to be successful. Get her out.
I know. But I mean, I think I keep going back to the, thesis of he has no control in this relationship. So she's just going to do what she wants to do.
Yeah.
So I guess she hasn't grown tired of being at the store yet. So
yeah, apparently.
I love when they're like sharing their truths or boundaries or whatever. And she says she might still be in love with her cousin because she kissed
Oh my
her
gosh.
cousin.
I can't. I might still be in love with him. You okay? Also, Tom, why? Like, just that's your red flag. Get out. We're done.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, well, so a lawyer called Tom, apparently. She did take that message, I suppose, so that's something. And says that he has a client. This lawyer says he has a client who wants to buy Rent-A-Swag, and Tom completely misunderstands, thinking like Babyface heard his demo.
I know. Oh my gosh. I love that we get an insight that he's made a demo.
Yes, and just to clear the air, Diddy is mentioned many a times, and we're just going to scratch that from the record.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, that did not age well.
Did not age well.
Yeah.
Very bad.
It's
very,
not
very,
Diddy,
very, very
so we
bad.
can just...
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's so true. Oh my God, can you imagine if they like surprised...
Had Diddy on the... Oh, yeah.
or like
You
said
all...
that he did buy it?
Yeah. You all like... Dodged a bullet.
Yes. This lawyer is played by Mark Evan Jackson. You've definitely seen him in so many things, especially The Good Place. I feel like he has become kind of Mike Schur's go-to guy.
He's so good.
Yeah, he's so good. And I feel like he's very typecast. He always has this kind of energy, I feel. And then he was also in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but I don't remember that. Did you remember him?
Yeah, he's the captain's husband.
Does he still have that same vibe?
Oh,
like
yeah.
this same vibe? Okay.
Yeah. Very straight face, like does not put up with Andy Samberg shenanigans. Yeah.
Okay. I thought so. I didn't remember. And then Mike Schur and Ted Danson's show, which is called A Man on the Inside on Netflix. Have you heard of this yet?
No.
Oh my gosh. It's so good. You guys got to watch it. It's so, so good. So great. So funny. What's her name from Brooklyn Nine-Nine is also on it.
What's the name of it?
A Man on the Inside.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's on Netflix. There will be a second season coming out. Ted Danson is obviously perfect, but it's just like a really interesting concept. So, but yeah, so definitely watch that. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because this lawyer was also in that show.
Cool.
Okay, well, so now Andy is accusing Anne of being pregnant, and she's like, "What? No, I'm not." And I've always loved this about Andy/Macklin. Like, he just believes you no matter what you say. He's like, "Oh, you aren't? Dang it." Oh well.
This is why he wouldn't have been a good cop, unfortunately.
I know.
I think he could have grown into a good cop, but this is why, like, he didn't pass the personality portion. Because he's like, yeah, give the gun to the person, right? And he's just like, yeah, he's just too believing, trusting. Yeah, it just wouldn't have worked out. So, but it's so funny because he's just like, oh, you're not? Okay. Then whose pregnancy test is this?
I know.
Yeah, not a lot of critical thinking. Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah. So he shows her the pregnancy test and she wants to figure out who it is too. And I don't know, man. I feel like the more we discuss this, the more I get bitter about it. But I'm just like, so she's trying to get pregnant now. And I'm like, wait, so did they go to the doctor's office? Like, the last time we saw them was when they had sex. And now she's like, I'm trying to get pregnant. But how? Like, have we decided now that Anne and Chris are like doing this naturally? Like, have they gone back to the doctors to get, whatever? I'm just like, So, and I was watching Modern Family, and I'm sorry, I know that this is probably like annoying to compare the shows, but like Modern Family has like a lot of, you know, issues and stuff that like would be solved if they talked about it, and then they end up talking about it like later on in the episode or the next episode. And I'm like, that's what I need. We need
resolution,
a closure, or like some sort of, oh yeah, we did talk about it, and this is how we're going to move forward. Not just like a next episode, we skipped steps and are just assuming.
We talked
stuff.
about it between episodes. You guys will catch up at some point.
And so it really made me frustrated because I was like, what is happening? Why?
Yeah.
Anyways, it's fine. But
I also I have a lot of thoughts around this with Anne, where she's like, but boo, like somebody's pregnant, boo. Because I think that's honestly, for me, she hasn't been trying that long, right? They haven't been trying that long. If they are now sleeping together and they're going to have a baby naturally, it's got to have only been like a couple weeks or something, right? Or a month. So to me, it's like, why are you booing? Like someone else is getting to have a baby, you know? Like if she had been trying for like 2 years and was having a really hard time and was having to start going it through like IVF stuff. And I understand like, okay, like people do have true emotions of it's really hard for me to be happy for my friend because I've been trying, or because I've had miscarriages, or because like, and that's real. Like, and while it might not be the best thing to boo someone to their face because they're pregnant, like I get that frustration, but like you've been trying for a month. Can we be happy that one of your friends is pregnant?
Oh my God. Well, and I think that's I don't know. That is the part of the bitterness that is why. It's like if she had talked, even if it was for only a month, but we had like known like, okay, it's official. We are doing it.
Yeah.
Then I could be like, oh yeah, that's funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it just feels so loose, like ended, like the string is not tied up. And I'm just like, where are we even? So like you are trying now officially? Like, I think that was the thing for me. I was like, so, okay, so that's showing us that you are doing this for reals.
Yeah, I don't think we...
Because we left at the doctor's office being like, when the fuck are we doing this? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
I agree. I don't think we fully get clear guidance on what they decided until season 6, episode 1.
Yeah. Oh my God, Maddie, there's a deleted scene too. I almost recorded it, but I was like, I'm not going to waste my time. But I do want to tell you, when they're at the cabin, they talk about, I can't remember, Chris and Anne are walking. I don't even know how it happened, but it was something about like, this is so exciting about Founders Weekend or something. And then like, that would be the most exciting thing that ever happened to me. And Anne is like, or we could find out that I'm carrying your baby. And I was like, thank you for cutting that.
Yeah.
Because I'm like,
Good
what?
editing.
Wait, what? And again, it's just confusing. Okay, I'm done.
But
I agree with you. I do think Rashida did a good job. Like, apart from that, it is a funny like section of acting. So, anyways, okay. So back at the forum, Ben is saying that Pawnee isn't the most obese town now, thanks to Leslie, and a gym stayed open.
Wow.
What? That's incredible.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And people checking into the ER went down. Like a lot of great, wonderful things.
Swallowing candy wrappers down 14%.
Incredible.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know why this doesn't click for people that this is a positive thing. Like it makes me kind of sad.
I know. Me too. I love this line too of like somehow they convinced the school board that napkins are a vegetable and Mary
they're made
Faber,
out of plants.
Yes, they're made from plants. And I'm pretty positive she said in the interview that like that was something that I think she improvised that, but like it was kind of a throwaway and they liked it, so they kept it. And I was like, oh my God, that's so amazing.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. But yeah, this is so annoying because like we talked about, they're all doing better, living longer. Like maybe they don't want to live longer. It's kind of like where Ron talks about like that when he gets the Paunchberger thing, he's like, it's his choice to die, essentially.
Yeah.
I feel. I mean, I know he doesn't say it in those terms, but like, I don't know. I just feel like they're masquerading it as these basic quote unquote freedoms when it's really just about money. Because I bet Paunchburger has lost so much money now that they don't sell those fucking sodas and crazy things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and that they
and
don't
a
have a
gym
Paunchburger.
opening is crazy. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, and that they don't have the Paunchburger next to Anne's house.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, and Dewey from Sanitation is back. We got a great voice memo from him in the Women in Garbage episode. He's amazing. He's played by Kif Vanden Heuvel. Heuvel, I think. Anyway, go check out that episode again because he sent in some great nuggets. But yeah, he's just kind of riding on Catherine Pinewood's line by saying they stripped them of their freedoms because he had to make one of their bathrooms into a women's bathroom. Like, what a travesty. What a terrible thing. I love Leslie's like sarcastic moment because that's kind of what I was thinking too. I was like, oh yeah, how terrible.
Yeah.
You still have a bathroom, bitch.
Yeah. Lord. Like, you
need two at the same time? Like, what?
It's insane to me. And this whole... they stripped me of my freedoms. Like, this whole like mantra now that she's created is like, oh my gosh, what do you guys think freedom is?
Yeah,
like
100%. Yeah, we definitely have differing views on what the basic rights are.
Mm-hmm.
But I do love in TV shows when people are sarcastic and the other person takes it literally because he was just like, so you agree?
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then we get to see another Lurpus. How exciting.
Yes.
Bjorn Lurpus, and I love that he says of the Pawnee Lurpus family.
Yes.
That's the first time we've kind of acknowledged that this family is a Pawnee institution.
And I've never caught that until we started talking about it here on the podcast and then watched this episode. I was like, oh my gosh, it's been here this whole time.
Yep. It's crazy. But yeah, he was the first, just as a reminder, he was one of the first Lurpuses I believe that we ever saw because he was in the bathroom when Andy was trying to beat April at how much money you could get at the bar or whatever. And so he was trying to sell mints to this Lurpus, but he doesn't actually have any mints or anything. So he's like $1 for nothing.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's mad. To your point, you already said this. He's mad because he didn't get the Paunchburger built next to Anne's house where the park was going to be built. The triple decker pizza breakfast or breakfast pizza or something?
Yes, breakfast pizza.
Oh my Lanta.
That sounds bad.
And, oh my gosh, Chris, that was so funny. I love this Lurpus guy. Like, Chris is like, will you ever consider not having that for breakfast? I will never consider that.
He's so mad. Also, like, I'm going to be 20 minutes from work, late to work. I work from home. It's like, bro, start your day 20 minutes earlier and that won't be an issue.
Whose issue is that, honey?
Yeah. Whose fault is this? It's not Leslie's.
My God.
But this is, I'm sorry, but this is, it's not everybody, but there is a good chunk of people who will find anyone else and anything else to blame other than themselves for stuff not going right.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. And then we've got the Liberty or Die guy is there. This is where they had the montages. Harris and the other animal control guy is there.
Harris is dressed nice.
They're both dressed like so professionally, and I don't really understand why.
I don't either. I don't feel like they have their priorities right.
Yeah. There are deleted scenes like where they're actually talking. The Liberty or Die guy is Ken Hotate. They had deleted scenes with all the like what they're actually saying on the mic, but nothing really like super mega specific.
Did Ken stand up for that, Leslie? No.
Well, wait. What did he? There was something negative at the end. I think at the beginning he does. You're right. Sorry. He does. But at the end he he says that the casino is like selling cigarettes or something like that. And it just kind of makes his credibility go down. But no, he does. He does stand up for her at the beginning and say like, good. She helped me, do this, that, and the other. So.
Okay. That's good. Because they typically end up on the same side.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. They have the same kind of morals, I feel.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like Harris and Colton, the animal control people, were like just trying to be professional looking for this like new meetings thing, but they didn't really say anything else, I feel. They haven't already said before.
Yeah. Fair. Probably why it got cut.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then Leslie says this feels personal, maybe because they're all saying how much they hate me personally. Oh, so sad. Okay, so now Andy is interviewing Donna, asking how many people he's talking to, 1 or 1 1/9. And how does she immediately go to, are you asking me if I'm pregnant? Like, how did she get that so fast? I would not have gotten that.
She is the only character that would have gotten it. That's
Yeah,
why
that's
it's funny. To me, I thought, okay, that's the only person that's going to hear that and be like, wait, is he asking me if I'm pregnant?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Honestly, I'm more surprised that Andy knew the math.
Yeah, weird. So now Donna's out. I will say you can be a grown woman with a good head on her shoulders and still get pregnant.
Amen.
Okay. That's fine, Donna. I mean, that's not fine, but you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
whatever. There is a deleted scene with Donna. I think I recorded it. Let me just make sure.
Only 2 men I let near my womb. Usher, for obvious reasons, and Hugh Bonneville.
Who?
The Earl of Grantham. Downton Abbey. Broaden your horizons, people.
Yeah, anyway, that was it. I thought that was funny that she said that she would let Usher near her womb.
Yeah, that's interesting. And also Hugh Bonneville being the person she would choose from Downton Abbey to let near her womb.
Mm-hmm. I know, I haven't watched Downton Abbey in a long time. But
Yeah.
anyway.
Good show.
And that's another thing that's built on, because when they like pick each other's dogs or whatever, she talks about, Downton Abbey. Anyhow, yeah, I just thought that was a weird line from Donna to say about the grown woman thing. So if you're a grown woman with a good head on your shoulders and you got pregnant, it's okay.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about that.
You still have a good head on your shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Marsha and Marshall Langman are back, which we love. Love their lines. People can now put their body parts anywhere they want to with impunity.
With impunity.
Oh my God.
It's so bad. I can't.
Well, we gotta. Oh, go ahead.
No, I can't with these people. They're so good at acting.
I know. They're so good. Yes. We got a voice memo from Todd Sherry a while ago, who plays Marshall Langman. He is so nice. He has a great Instagram. I'll tag him too, I have tagged him previously, where he posts about his amazing garden. I know that's not having to do with parks, but it's worth mentioning because it's so good. And then Darlene Hunt plays Marsha Langman, and she is an incredible actress, writer, famous for the show The Big C. And I believe she was on Parks and Recollection briefly as well, talking about her time on Parks. But yeah, they're both so good, and obviously they are referring to Leslie's sex education initiative, and STDs are down.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
Yeah, but no,
Big deal.
for them that doesn't matter.
Yeah, so stupid.
Yeah,
They'd rather have that. That's the thing. It's like when you ask them that question, I feel like they'd be like, they don't know how to answer that question of like, would you rather have STDs down or not? You know what I mean?
Well, because it's just this whole like view on purity,
abstinence,
right? Like, it's just, like no one should be having sex. Okay, well, logically, you're never
What's
gonna.
realistic?
Yeah, it's not realistic to expect people to not have sex. So let's make sure they're prepared. I just don't. But no, and I mean, there's a lot of people out there that, I mean, I think less now, but if you look 20 years ago, how many people were like, no, like it's so wrong for you to not, like you should abstain, like 100%.
Oh yeah, churches still believe that. So that rhetoric is still being spread. So anyhow, this town is going to hell in a Gucci knockoff handbag, girl.
Oh, Marshall.
So funny.
Yeah, so well delivered, and yeah.
Yes. I hate this too. The good compliments, like they should have left Ken Hotate in there, because the good compliments are from the porn community.
Yeah. Which I think when I sent in my summary and recording, I did kind of agree that Leslie should not have been part of that the video store situation. Like she definitely overstepped what she needed to do.
Tough stuff.
Or she should have cracked down more, right? Like, when we give you this money, this is what you have to use it for.
Right, right.
Because this is just coming to just backstab her so bad right now.
It's awful. And then Brandy Max, our queen, Brandy Max comes in. Mara Marini is the actress who plays this. We also had a full interview with her. Wonderful. I'll post that in the show notes. It's so incredible that we've talked to so many of these people.
I know.
I'm just
that they're so willing
grateful
to give their time, and they have great stories.
But yeah, and then they dress Brandy Max in like a corporate kind of vibe, similar to Leslie, still doing that mirroring parallel moment. I love Herman Lurpus, the pawn shop Lurpus, loves the Video Dome, and he's like, yeah, it's much better now.
Yeah.
So creepy. And then this is also where the Video Dome owner comes back, Jason Schwartzman, who you probably are familiar with all the Wes Anderson films that he's been in. But yeah, and then I love that. I love that they've given Brandy Max all this stuff. Like it's like an AA meeting where she says, "Hi, I'm Brandy Max. Hi, Brandy." And then I laughed out loud at, she had a small part in the film Argo, and then Argoo as well, the porn version.
So bad. But
that is gross.
The phrasing of it is so great though, because she lists 2 porn films and then she goes to Argo and you're like, oh, she had a part in an actual movie, and then she goes, and Argoo, and I'm like, all right, there it is. You know?
And I love that I should have asked her about this, but I didn't even think about it. I wonder if they told her or if she just did it anyway. I really loves how she pronounces the different pronunciations. Argo, and then she like very clearly says our space goo after, so that you have no confusion on what you're hearing after. And I think that was a really good job. I laughed out loud.
Agreed.
Oh God. Also, Leslie says like, I know she's panicking a little bit, but she's like, well, that was kind of an accident and we've cleared it all up now and it's good. And I'm like, how did you clear it all up? That's not cleared up. I also love Jason Schwartzman line of, I've seen the first 90 seconds and they're thrilling.
Thrilling. Yes. So good.
So next, oh dear, she says, it's not like I'm a crazed sex maniac or anything. And Andy and Anne burst in asking if it's her pregnancy test and seeing if she's pregnant. And I do love Ben's look of shock. Like, wait, is it? Oh my God.
Well, because they've started to talk about having a family, right? So it's not out of the realm that it could be Leslie. But I am 100% so upset with Andy and Anne here. Like, Anne has to know that she's doing this today. Like, they're best friends. And the fact that she was okay with Andy running in there, like, she didn't, like, walk in and realize everybody was there and stop him. Like, to me, I would have been so upset with her. And I would have stopped him because I'm like, this is really important to her. Like, you know, and obviously Anne couldn't have predicted how poorly it was going. Right. Yeah. But it's like, this is a professional place and you're just going to let him run in and yell, is she pregnant?
I do feel like, I don't know, I built this in my head. This is not what happened, but I built this in my head that Anne was like chasing after Andy to try to get him to stop. And then she couldn't control him because he was just like, fuck this, you know, and he's a child, so it was like whatever. And then by the time he starts speaking, and was just like, oh well, it's happening.
Can't stop it now.
It did seem a little out of character, but luckily it would have been worse if it actually was hers in front of everybody.
Right.
But luckily it was not hers.
Yeah.
But I do love Adam Scott's face there of like,
yeah, oh no.
What? But yeah, it was perfect timing too, because they had just talked about having a family. So I really love how they built that up. That's cool. Okay, so Tom is telling the investors about the lawyer meeting and that he might say yes to the sellout of Rent-A-Swag, doubling their investment. And Donna immediately says yes, because imagine the treat yourself day you could have with the profits. Pedicures on pedicures on pedicures. I just love that. And Ron is like, no, grow and accumulate power, that buy his business. And I do, I think the first part I do kind of understand what Ron's saying as far as like, you know, you have the upper hand here right now. So, you know, keep going. And it means you have competition. Like, people are scared of you, essentially.
Yeah.
So I do get that part. But I don't know. I guess it depends on how much money it would be.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I honestly, I mean, with the information we have, I don't think there's a bad choice here.
Yeah.
Like, you either get to keep your business and you know that you're doing something right because somebody wants to buy you, or you sell and you have money to start your next venture.
I know. And it really is sad. I mean, I know that we haven't gotten there yet, but it is kind of sad what happens, because this was such a good idea. And I hate that the dumbass client who shall not be named comes in and steals it.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyway.
This is super bummer, especially because we've been waiting 5 seasons to see Tom do something great and see him succeed and stop being sleazy Tom.
Yeah, totally.
And, you know, he's doing it. And then something's going to come and be a roadblock for him. So it's kind of sad.
Yeah. And poor Jerry tries to make a suggestion and gets shut down. Oh, my God.
I miss you guys.
I know. He loves these people.
He does.
So now we're at the celebration, the Founders Day celebration, and it looks so cute. I can't imagine all the hard work that went into this, like I was talking about. I also love corn on a stick. I love that Chris is holding that. It's so precious. I love it so much. And it reminded me of Brooklyn, my sister. She just loves that too. If she sees corn like on a menu or like a street vendor, if we're traveling or something that has corn, she will get it. It's really funny.
Brooklyn, my kindred spirit.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I eat all day, every day at the restaurant because we have the Mexican street corn. So good.
Yeah, so good. And Chris is trying to be really positive, but Leslie's in a bad mood. So Chris's positivity is really overwhelming. And she's like, could you just like stop, please? And I think that's how I felt at the first or what first season that he was in, kind of. I was like, stop it. But I think it's nice that Chris is trying to help and like cheer her up. So yeah,
she's just not at that point yet. You know, it's like we've talked about, right? Is that like if we're gonna rant to each other or whatever, we like to start with do you need advice, or are you here to like just get it off your chest? Because sometimes you're not ready to hear the advice, and I think she's just not ready to be cheered up right now. She's in her wallow, things are going poorly mode, and that's okay. You need to give yourself time to process that. Yeah,
totally. And then Chris says that he found out he has a surprise role in the parade, which is very cute and very exciting. And then this is where Ben makes his comment, you know, that in politics, the more you accomplish, the more heat you draw, which is true.
Yeah. It's in a lot of things, I would say, you know, like when you're doing well, you get more heat. People are intimidated by you, or, you know, don't like the waves you're making, but it means you're making an impact somewhere.
Right. I really love this next line. I don't know if I really remember this happening, where Andy says, my assistant has something to show you. And she says partner. And like, as in, I'm your partner. Right. But he just adds it on the word like, oh, sorry, my assistant has something to show you, partner. That was so funny.
It was. It's very funny. And now that you're saying that you didn't remember it, I didn't remember it from the entire time I've been watching the show. The last couple times, yes. But I wonder if that's one of those lines that they brought back in.
I don't know, man. It was so funny.
Yeah, I love it. Very Andy too.
Yeah. So Anne shows Tom the pregnancy test, asking about, you know, if Mona Lisa might be pregnant. But they always use protection, but he thinks she might be poking holes in them, which makes sense for her.
Like, you think that and you're still with her? Oh, Tom.
The pregnancy test is called Womb. There it is. I love that.
Yes. And I forgot that we heard about it this early. I thought the first time we saw it was when Leslie's buying a pregnancy test in the next season. Yeah. And so I totally forgot that was even a thing. Like, I didn't realize that they showed us this early, but I love that. So smart.
And I also love that, like, he just so matter-of-factly says, yep, that's her brand.
Which, why do you know that? Have you guys had scares?
I don't know, man. Tom as a dad scares me, though, I will say.
Yeah. I would agree.
But he steps up later, which we'll see, which is lovely. But just like gut reaction, I'm like, oh no, this is bad.
Yeah.
Okay. So we learn that Chris is the Nipple King because the Kernston Nipple Company elects a Nipple King and Queen each year to ride on the float. And both Chris and Leslie are so excited. And I love how Leslie is so supportive of this. Yeah. Like, oh my God, congratulations, Chris. That's so amazing.
Yeah. Even in the midst of her sadness, she's like stoked for him. And Ben's look to camera.
Classic.
Just
not understanding Pawnee traditions.
Like, and Chris has just completely jumped into it, right? He's like, hell yeah, I get to do this thing. This makes complete sense. And Ben's like,
totally.
I don't know what this is.
Yes. Well, Chris got off this float because he was trying to warn Leslie about another float that's coming up. And it's this full-size like statue thing of Leslie painting her as a villain. And it's so terrible because the statue is like waving and wagging her finger. And so is Leslie in real time. She stops the whole parade and is like, I'm extremely fun. And it's just terrible. But I do love Ben's like, babe, stop wagging your finger.
Yeah.
Babe. So awful.
It is. Oh, I know. This breaks my heart.
Me
She just
too.
loves this town so much, and if they knew,
I know.
it hurts.
Well, it does hurt. That's kind of my next note so this is where we learn that Catherine Pinewood and everybody who was complaining at the town forum thing have now created a Recall Knope committee. And they have their shirts on, and that's what the whole float is for. Which, side note, bitches, usually it takes like 6 months to a year to get a float even in a parade. So how did you manipulate everybody to get that in there? Okay.
They had to have
Like,
paid
you
big
just-
bucks.
Mm-hmm. And I was so upset when I was watching this. I was like, I want to burn this fucking float to the ground in honor of Leslie and all of her accomplishments. I was so mad at them. So mad at them.
It seems rather obviously political too to let this float. You're supposed to be celebrating the founders of this city.
Yeah.
Hence the nipple float.
Right.
So-
Totally.
So why did we let this in?
I know why. I will say it's funny that the animal control people say legalize weed amongst all of this, like Recall Leslie Knope. They don't even know what they're fucking supporting.
No.
So, I think
They
Leslie
just
would be
needed
in
bodies.
support. Right, exactly. I think Leslie would support legalizing weed if it was like controlled.
Yeah.
I mean, so they don't even know. But I will say, I found this on the internet. You might have found this too, that the Indiana Constitution actually does not allow for recall elections.
I did
So
not
this is
see that.
This point is kind of moot. So you actually can't remove Indiana elected officials with a recall election, which is wild. I'm a little mixed feelings on here. But in my head, when I read that, I was like, okay, great. So we don't have a problem. Leslie will stay in there. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. Cool.
But obviously, I think it's a good thing for the story because this is such a truthful and like real thing that could happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now Tom is asking Mona Lisa and John Ralphio if Mona Lisa is pregnant, and Mona Lisa acts all upset. And I love that John Ralphio acts like this is his problem. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I gotta get out of this. This is too much. I can't be an uncle. And he says something too. He says like, I heard the word naked, but I don't know what the sentence was. So part of me was like, is he like trying to get that out of his head of them being naked together?
Oh my gosh.
But I think it's so funny to see the harmonizing between the two siblings too. Hilarious.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
funny.
they have good chemistry. And
Total
I haven't heard
siblings.
of them like working together before or after this. So
Oh yeah, I don't know.
so it's just I think they just clicked when they met and it
Mhm.
works. So and I'm sure you introduced Jenny Slate last episode, but I've loved her. Like I started watching SNL and she was on the cast, and so it was so cool when I saw her come on Parks and Rec. I was like, oh, she's getting work
know.
outside of SNL. That always makes me happy when I see SNL people
I think
outside.
she was only on SNL for one season. I didn't even know that she
Yeah.
was on there.
Yeah.
I don't even remember when I was first introduced to her. I know that she's a stand-up comedian as well. But she's done a ton of like voiceover work. Marcel the Shell is incredible. Oscar winning, by the way. And just a lot of other amazing things. And I think I also saw when her and Captain America were dating at some point, Chris
They
Pine.
did it for a long time. Chris Evans.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Evans, yeah. And I was like, honestly, Jenny Slate is better than Chris Evans, but whatever. I still love
whatever.
Chris Evans. I think he's
Yeah.
still lovely and so funny. But yeah, I honestly don't know where I first saw her, but yeah, and she was in this one movie with the new Jim or whatever from The Office. What's his name? Oh, Pete.
Oh, Pete.
He was in this, and she was in this independent film with him about that's funny, actually, about getting pregnant, and they didn't mean to. I can't remember what it's called, but it's really good and really funny, and I just love her.
I think she just played Blake Lively's best friend in It Ends With Us too.
Oh yeah. Ugh.
So I haven't seen
a
it,
mess
but I
that
saw the
all
trailer.
is.
Yeah.
Well, it sucks too because Paul Feig directed that or wrote it. I can't remember, who is a big part of The Office and, everything. And everybody's comments on Paul Feig's stuff is like, I'm not fucking watching that if she's in it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no, Paul Feig.
Paul Feig, no. Oh, he did A Simple Favor. Different.
What's that?
The one with Anna Kendrick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But still, yes, I'm sure he's getting, There's a lot.
Lots of drama with
Lots of drama going on. I try to keep up, and then I'm like, okay, I don't have the energy
keep
for this.
releasing more and more and more. They haven't really released anything new about it, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so now April's the only other woman left that could be pregnant, and I do love Andy's face to camera of like, well, it could only be her. Oh my God.
Which I think we don't really see Andy's love for kids until he starts playing at the birthday parties and stuff next season. But he would be, I think you're like, oh, he's a kid, like he's not going to know how to take care of a kid, but he's going to be such a good dad just because he has that lovable play energy that kids are going to need. So
yeah,
he's kept himself alive.
Yeah, that's true. With the help of April too.
With the help of April, yeah.
So now we're at JJ's trying to calm down from the day, and Leslie suggested they live in the Bahamas and she should just quit. And also I love that she mentions Elizabeth Warren, that she got up to watch Meet the Press or whatever. And I think Ben is a great sounding board here, like asking Leslie, like, do you think we're better off? Do you think you're better off? Do you believe in everything that you did? And she says, yeah. And he's like, well, then screw him.
Yeah, this is amazing advice. And this is him being a husband right now, and kind of like a co-workery, right? Because he was the campaign manager. Like that's so true. Like if you wouldn't have done anything differently, then there's no reason to dwell on it, because you did what you thought was right, and that's what you should be doing. Yeah,
I agree. Leslie is grateful, but then she's also like, what do we even do from here? Like, how would I even fight this? Also, oh my gosh, there is a beautiful deleted scene here that I cannot believe they cut. I get it for timing, but I was like so obsessed, where Ben uses the same box that he had the Leslie Knope pin in / like the engagement thing, and it's a ring box, and he gives her a gift. I'm just gonna play the scene for you.
Okay.
Hey, this'll cheer you up. Happy 0th anniversary. Today was the day we were originally supposed to get married, so...
Oh, no, I don't have anything for you because my whole life is falling apart.
It's okay, just open it.
Little Sebastian locket? Are you kidding me? Wow, it's perfect. Marrying you was the best part of this year. The best part of a rough, weird, awful, stupid year. But even if I wanted to fight this recall, how would I do it?
I don't know. But if you want to fight, I'll fight right alongside you.
Can you fight a little ahead of me so I can take a look at those slender, taut, sexy little calves?
It's my calves now?
Yes. Your butt is old news. It's all about the calves.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I love okay, that's fine.
Yeah. It started off so
but
cute.
I took a picture. They showed the locket.
Oh, very cute.
And then look on the inside.
Oh,
it's them together.
That's so sweet.
I'm gonna post this on the stories, but it's like you open the locket and Ben's on one side and Leslie's on the other side, and they're like wedding day, and it is just so precious and beautiful.
Wow.
And then another deleted scene comes up that follows up with this one. I will say it's a little out of character that Leslie doesn't have anything for him because she has gifts galore, like back at the office, I'm sure. But other than that, it was a perfect scene and I loved it.
Yeah, it's so sweet and just very, very Ben of him. So, I love it.
So now we're at the press conference and she starts naming dance movie titles. Bring it on. Step Up. Because essentially she's Step Up 2, The Streets. But basically she's saying, like, if you want to recall me, like, go ahead, try it. Okay? Like, bring it on, essentially. Because I think you're better off. If you don't, then fine. Like, do what you need to do kind of vibes. And then Shauna Malwae-Tweep is there, and she said 2 months is when they're trying to get the recall vote to happen, which is like kind of fast, but also not that fast, I guess. It's like a decent time, but yeah, it just goes back to, again, the whole like how we have differing views on what basic freedoms are, and I know that they're being dramatic because that's the way that they're going to be heard if they're louder and like more vicious, you know, but I'm just like, this is not a freedom or like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so bizarre to me and makes me question everything.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
Tweep gets really emotional and deep. This is the beginning of the end for Tweep, I feel. I mean, it started when she said, I can't even get the shoeshine guy back when Andy was the shoeshine guy or shoeshinist, if you will. And I feel like this is starting to show when Shauna might need therapy. She's like, I'm really learning about me. But it's great that she's like self-reflecting, you know?
Yeah. And I love that Leslie doesn't dismiss her. She's just like, no, I wasn't really asking specifically about you, but that's great.
Yeah. And Ben helps her out because she can't end it correctly. Recall, schmeecall. No, it can't end. My big press conference on that.
Yeah.
And I love that Ben, again, is, you know, her partner in crime here, ending the press conference. And it's really wonderful to see them together as a partner / team again, which we haven't seen in a hot second. So I love that.
Yeah.
And then let's see. Oh yeah. Then we've got the volunteer weekend force mobilized, the Pawnee River cleanup, which I love that they're bringing that back because, you know, we had that a couple ages ago. That was at the beginning of of the season because that was what she went to DC for. And so that's kind of incredible that is still going on and that they're keeping up with that. But here is where the other deleted scene happens that follows up on the 0th present.
Oh, I also got you a belated 0th anniversary present.
Aw.
Ta-da!
Capri pants? So you can see my calves.
I see them all the time. It's so other people can see them and be jealous.
You know, honestly, sometimes I feel like I'm being harassed.
I know. Put them on now. Walk around in front of me.
Oh my gosh.
These are the capris, by the way.
Yikes.
They're like a purpley, weird khaki thing happening. Again, I'll post this in the stories.
Wow.
But it's so funny. Oh my God. I know. Turn around and walk around in front of me.
The calves are such an interesting body part to choose.
I know. It's so funny. Oh
especially when I'm pretty sure he does not work out.
No. She likes him the way he is.
Yeah, I love it.
All right. So now Chris and Anne are dating, I guess, because Leslie asks how it's going. And again, it's just such whiplash where she's like, the sex is great. And I'm like, okay, so are you dating or just having sex or what's the deal?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why my brain can't wrap my head around like that they're just like I guess it's because it feels so life-changing, like literally life-changing to have a baby. Whereas if they were just dating again and like fucking around, I'd be like, oh, that's fun for them. Cool. They've both grown and it's nice. But
they even mentioned it 2 episodes ago where they said, you know, are we actually together? Because like, are we going to bring a baby into this world? Like, we need to have an answer for the baby, right? Like, so why don't we have an answer?
They talked about talking about it.
Right.
That's the thing that I hated. They talked about talking about it, but they didn't actually talk about it.
Right.
Anyway,
so,
it's okay.
And it's
just getting through this.
Yeah. Oh, it's a little chaotic trying to say like, it's not a problem right now. When she gets pregnant, they're going to have to talk about it. And there's already so many other things going on that it's easy to put off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also am just not clinging on. I mean, I'm also getting a little bit of this from the next episode because obviously I watched the next episode. But like the chemistry just for me is not there.
Yeah.
Like, so when she says the sex is great, I'm like, is it though?
I mean, I liked the chemistry when they were looking at each other all like sly or whatever when they were on the couch and they kind of, or whatever, were like talking about how they were good at the activities. Like that was like fine for me. I was like, that's cute. But it kind of stopped.
Yeah.
You don't really see them flirting as much. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you don't see them being a couple. Like they say they're going to be a couple.
Right.
So it's a little bit I guess, confusing on that front.
Yeah.
Because even in the first one, in the first time they dated, I just feel like it was like not that long. So you don't always see them flirting and like going on dates and all these things. So I think I wanted that like chemistry and that intimacy connection like we see with Ben and Leslie. Obviously, it's not going to be to Ben and Leslie's level because they're Ben and Leslie.
Yeah.
But I do feel like we're missing a little bit of that connection of like romance.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
and we'll continue this conversation as we go into season 6 because it's just going to keep going.
It's just going to keep going. I'm sorry, but it is how I feel. So sorry.
Yeah. No, that's what we're here for. We're here to talk through our genuine feelings around this, and people can fight us or they can agree with us.
Yeah. Well, now Andy picks April up and spins her around and shouts, "My wife is pregnant." And April is like, "No, I'm not. And even if I was, you shouldn't be picking me up." But okay.
Yep.
But April does need to tell him something. And it's that she got into vet school, which is so exciting. Again,
awesome.
Another thing that we kind of followed up on that we didn't really close the book on when Anne was being the reference for her. So I think that's really great and so great of a trajectory for April.
Absolutely.
My.
And he's so supportive. He's like, we'll
I
figure
love
it out. Like, you got to do it. But, as I've known for the last 20 seconds, this is a dream of yours.
Oh my God. I wrote that in my notes. I was like, how are they still married? They don't know anything about each other.
Yeah. Oh, it's so funny.
But they're just so supportive of each other and they love each other.
Yeah. I think part of it is April was still so young, and Andy was mentally so young when they got married that he didn't know he wanted to try to be a police officer until they were already together, and she might not have known that she wanted to go to vet school until recently, and we do know she had a fear of failing, of not getting in, and I feel that way. Like, I always like kind of force myself to tell Ivan, but there's some things there when I'm like, I don't want to come to him with the news that I failed, so it's like a self-conscious, like, I want to be this person in this person's eyes kind of thing. So I could see that, but at the same time, it's like, you should have told him you applied.
Yeah. I mean, no, I understand the maybe not telling him kind of thing, but it is interesting that like he never knew that she was interested in
it, yeah.
animals and vet school and stuff like that. But I mean, even if you're older, like, you grow as a couple together and you grow and learn things that you never knew when you first started dating. So like, I get that part. It's just funny because I don't know that this relationship would work outside of Parks and Rec. Like outside of the show.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a lot of disconnect, I feel.
Yeah. Agreed.
But it's really lovely to see how supportive he is. It really reminds me of kind of a Jim and Pam art school vibe. Where they're like, we'll do that. We can do this. It's not a big deal. Like, our relationship is solid. We can figure it out. And I love how excited he is. And it's really nice, like you said, kind of like a nice reciprocation that April was so supportive of him doing the police academy and was like, we'll figure it out. We'll study together, whatever. So it's nice to see Andy kind of give that back to her.
Yeah. Yeah. They definitely are very supportive of each other. It's great.
Yes. But yeah, so April's not pregnant. So now we've crossed out everybody. So now we have a still looming question moment, which we'll get to. Tom says he will not be selling Rent-A-Swag, and the lawyer says, okay, well, fine. My client is going to move on to Plan B, which is opening his own store across from yours, doing the exact same thing, except for he's going to do the little swagger thing and the old people stuff. And yeah, it's capitalism. That's just what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think about this episode very frequently, and then maybe the next episode, because they talked about hydroxy or whatever it was the first Oreos. Like, Oreos did not invent sandwich cookies.
Right.
And what they look like. That, you know what I mean? They capitalized on somebody else's invention, essentially, and made it famous and did their branding and stuff. And also, quite frankly, came up with a better name. Sorry.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, it still sucks. But that's like the world. That's what America does. So.
It is.
But it's very sad for Tom.
I know, and it sucks that they use his name. They call it Tommy's Closet.
Oh,
that's
my God.
That's like the nail in the coffin for me of how rude it is.
That is the worst. Oh my God. And apparently the writer said that they thought about naming Rent-A-Swag Tommy's Closet like back in the day. And so that just came back. I thought that was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Cool way to use it.
So now Andy is talking to Ron and asking advice like, will things be okay if April goes to vet school? Will we be good? And Ron's like, I mean, nothing's certain, but you guys seem pretty solid, like we just talked about. And Ron starts saying, you know, Leslie's going around asking if everybody's better off, but all I care about is if things are the exact freaking same. And if they're the same, I'm good.
Yeah.
And then Andy drops this bomb because Ron didn't know that this search was happening. And Andy's like, wait, who the hell is pregnant? And Diane comes in. Oh my God. What a way to end a season.
I know. Wow.
Great, like, mystery moment.
I can't
think
believe
this
we
writing
had to
was
wait
so cool.
months between this
Between
and the next season.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's how it goes
Yeah.
for network
I mean,
shows.
I feel like now, I don't know if it's the way I watch TV now or whatever. I don't really feel like I wait very much between seasons. And Bridgerton's probably the only one, but they do a pretty good job where it's like you wrap up the
Severance.
story. Ooh.
I had to wait. Sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you're okay. You're okay. That's you know, I feel like they wrap up Bridgerton because it's like, okay, the love story is completed. We're going on to the next sibling. So you don't feel like this heaviness of what's going to happen next, you know, because they rounded out the story. So I'm just
see.
I lived this where I actually waited 2 months between this and the next season. And how did I survive knowing how this is going to go?
It was probably longer than that because usually they
True.
end it in like the spring and
May.
then don't start back up until fall.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's true. It's probably 4 or 5 months, maybe.
crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But yeah, that was the thing with Severance because like COVID and the strike and all this shit happened. And that season finale of season 1 was, oh my God. Like I wanted to flip the table. I was like, what the fuck happened? And I haven't watched the finale for season 2. People told me that it's really wild and that like one of my friends watched it at night and she was like, I couldn't go to sleep because I just kept thinking about it. Not in a scary way,
Yeah.
but like I just couldn't stop thinking about how that is happening. And oh my God, I'm so nervous. So, I mean, nervous in a good way. Like, oh my God, I got to really be prepared to watch it. But yeah, I feel like certain shows like will release all the episodes at once. And now like Severance did it every week, even though it was on a streaming. Like Max does that too. Sometimes Hulu original shows will like release it every week. Like it's a network show. And so you can't binge it unless you just wait for the season to be over.
Yeah.
But yeah, crazy.
Oh.
And what an arc for Ron to have
Yes.
a child or to be deciding if he's going to have a child. Like, wow.
Yeah. I love it.
And then the Andy face, like the GIF that everybody uses,
Yes.
I feel, even if they don't watch Parks and Rec and have no idea, that face is used in so many like text messages and like it's just really funny to see.
Absolutely. It's great.
Yeah, so Leslie might be recalled from her dream job. Ron has an insane arc. Could never imagine him right now being a father, even though like he is the father inside of his work proximity associates, but he's been a loner as far as family goes. Like he hasn't had a relationship where he'd even want that, I feel like, because it's so chaotic and weird.
Well,
So it's really lovely.
And he, you know, he even in the beginning was a little weird with Diane's kids. Like it took him a while to warm up to them.
See, this arc, and I have this note, this arc of having a family makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I do want to make it so clear. It's not that I need the thing to be linear. I don't need you to fall in love and then have a kid. Like, and having a kid on her own without a husband or boyfriend is like, I'm so in support of women doing that. But it just didn't make sense for her character and her arc, like what she wanted to do with her life. And so I'm just trying to accept that because Ron, you know, he didn't want to have a family, but like you said, he warmed up to it. He started falling in love with both the girls and Diane. So it's like, and then this came out of nowhere and you're like, I could see Ron being so in love with Diane and the girls now that like he would really consider this. Whereas, you know, even a year ago, he'd be like, oh my God, I got to get out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. He's had a huge shift and Diane is a huge part of that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I still don't think as a viewer that you ever saw in the cards Ron having a kid.
Totally.
Like, I think you can see him marrying Diane and being a father to the girls, but I don't think any of us were like, oh, yeah, they'll obviously have a kid.
Yeah, not in the realm of possibility. They're also
Yeah.
they're not so much older, but they're older than Anne. And you know what I mean? Like, you might not, and Diane has already had 2 kids.
Yeah.
So you're like, maybe that's just going to be their family. So you don't think about building a new one with this new dynamic. So I think this is, I was really proud of them, and I think this is a really cool way to end a season. So
Agreed.
For sure.
Great writing. And
Yes.
there's so much to dive into in season 6, episode 1 because of
Oh my God.
this.
Crazy. Season 6 is where I feel things get shaken up, things happen. Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah,
So.
and I think we got comfortable with Leslie being in office. And I think we were like, okay, cool, this is her trajectory. And so in season 6, when you're like, wait, I was comfortable here, it's really cool to see where are we going to take her.
Oh my God. And can I just say, like, when Jen Barkley comes in to explain, I think now watching this and analyzing this show, I think me personally as a viewer and watching this, like, oh my God, what is Leslie going to do? Not being on city council. Like, how we worked so hard to get here and we've made so many strides. What are we going to do? And so I think, you know, both Leslie and the audience is like in this tunnel vision moment where we're just like, so I love that, like, it gives you permission when Jen comes back to be like, oh my God, this is not the only solution to your career. Like, think bigger.
Yeah.
Go above them. And I was like, oh my God, it's so beautiful.
It is. Yeah. That scene lives in my head because I feel like it's so applicable to our real life too.
Yes.
It's like you have
in every career move moment. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have that thought process of you can't be pigeonholed in thinking, you know, this is the only option. It's not.
Yeah, totally. Well, oh my gosh, that was the end of season 5.
Yay, we did it.
I feel better off, okay?
I do too. Agreed.
So thank you all. I hope you guys feel better off after our hour and a half of ranting. Please rate and review, subscribe, all the things. We'll see you for season 6. Can't wait for all the new things that are about to happen. So insane.
Yes.
And then Brian Stack, my interview with him will be coming out after this. So that's going to be so amazing. He was wonderful.
Yay.
So grateful. And yeah, that's it. So we hope that you guys are surviving 2025 and we're all wishing you the best. And
Yes.
call your senators. Okay. Or, you know, post about whatever you need to post about it. You know, it's hard being a human.
That it is. That it
Okay.
is.
Thank you again. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
There's a park and some pals, and there's also therapy too.